welcome to Catholic Home Life. My name is Lindsay and I have Michael here with me. His twin brother Thomas is upstairs taking a nap right now, and he's supposed to be napping too, but he decided to not nap. So that is why he's with me for this video. And actually this video is going to be all about just kind of an update on how we've been doing with having twins, and they are now 4 months old. They're over 4 months old. So I just wanted to come on here to give an update for you because it's been 4 months. Well, I did a video about their birth story and then I did a video with my dad, but since then I've kind of been totally focused on my family and taking care of the twins because it's really taken all of my energy to just survive and get food on the table and make sure diapers are changed and all of that. So yeah, this video is all about how we've been doing. Michael and Thomas just started taking longer naps, which is amazing because pretty much this whole first 4 months they have been taking these little cat naps, and with two babies having to feed them and then they're awake, and I usually feed them back to sleep, even though I've been reading that you shouldn't do that because then they're associating breastfeeding with going to sleep. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I have been just so busy putting them down for bed, and then it seems like when one of them finally falls asleep, then the other one needs to, I need to do something with them. So I'm just going back and forth between taking care of both of them. Plus my 4 other kids, I have to take care of them too and feed them and make sure that their needs are met. So for those of you who are new around here, I have 6 kids. And I have a 10-year-old all the way down to these newborn twins that we just had. So it's a pretty busy household around here. That is why I've had to really cut back from YouTube, especially. Doing YouTube videos takes a lot of energy and just planning what I want to say and then finding time to film it and edit it. It all takes a lot of time, and I just haven't really had the time to do it with having newborns. But now they're starting to get into a phase where they're sleeping longer, so I'm hoping to have more time to devote to the YouTube channel because I am always like, ooh, I should make this video or this video, and I never have time to do it. So now I'm hoping to get back to it. As I told you in my video about their birth story and just that first month, my mother-in-law stayed with us for 2 weeks, and then my parents also stayed with us for 2 weeks. So that was a huge help because I had a C-section, so I was recovering from major surgery, and then taking care of the twins was just crazy, having to juggle both of those things. So they were here to help me, and then after that I still really needed a lot of help, and my mother-in-law, she came for 2 weeks, 1 week, and then she went home for a week, and then she came back for a week. So that was really nice to have her help. And that was also during May, which was a crazy month for us because my 7-year-old son, he received his first Holy Communion. So there was that, and then there was Mother's Day, and my other son turned 10. So there were birthdays, and then, oh, on Mother's Day also the twins were baptized. So that was another thing. So we were hosting parties and all these things, and it was so nice to have my mother-in-law to live with us for those 2 weeks around that time where she could really help us get the house clean and make the food and keep up on the laundry. So all of that, she was here for that, and that was wonderful. And then also for help, we had my niece come, and she lived with us for a month from the end of May to near the middle to end of June. And that was actually right after my mother-in-law left. So our niece Mary, she came and stayed with us for a month, and she's 18. She was able to take a leave of absence from her job, so she was kind of in this place where she could offer to help us. And we've pretty much learned anytime someone offers to help us, we say yes because we need the help. So we said yes to her, and having her come was just so awesome because I really got to know her, and that was really neat. She's discerning entering a religious order to be a sister, so it was neat to have that month where we could really bond with her and get to know her before that happens. So I really feel like all these people helping us has been a treasure, because we've really bonded with a lot of different people in different ways through their help. Also, I wanted to mention my parents. They have been a tremendous help to me and my whole family. They come over every week pretty much. And my mom, she'll like do a lot of laundry. That's the main thing she tries to tackle for me, which is so nice. She does laundry, and they play with the kids. My dad will go play basketball with the big kids. So they have really helped out. And they also took the kids overnight on a camping trip, like in their RV. So they've just been so helpful in helping me give attention to all of the kids, especially the older kids, because when you have a new baby in the house, not to mention 2 new babies in the house, it can be difficult making sure that everyone is getting the attention that they need and that they deserve. So thank you to my parents who have been there through thick and thin. Yes, that's right. Thank you, Grandma, Grandpa. Yeah, thank you. There was also a woman from our church who offered to come and hold the babies. That was her offer. She, can I just come hold babies once a week? And I was like, yes, I would love that. So she came once a week for probably 5 or 6 weeks. She came on Tuesdays and she would hold babies, and I was able to get some homeschooling done with the kids, which is a whole nother video. I'd love to do a video talking about how we kind of managed doing homeschooling while the twins were really little. So hopefully I'll get to that one soon. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Hey, hey. So the other way that we got help, more help, was I mentioned in my other video about their birth story, we had 2 weeks of help from our church. There's a ministry called the Martha Ministry, and they delivered meals to us. You want to hold him? Thank you. Bye, Michael. They delivered meals to us for 2 weeks, and then I was talking to the woman who leads the ministry after Mass one day, and she was like, how's it going? And I was telling, it's still pretty crazy. I was telling her, because it's just hard to make dinner, especially that's the hardest meal to get to, because the babies are usually crying and they're just wanting to be held, and the other kids are going crazy. So that hour of day, I'm sure you can relate if you have kids. It's kind of, we call it like the witching hour. Like it's just, yeah, it's hard to get dinner, and then it's hard to plan ahead, all of that. And we had a lot of freezer meals that I had stored away during my later months of pregnancy. Once I found out I was having twins, I started making double batches of things and freezing it. But by the time I was talking to this woman from my church who does Martha Ministry, by the time she was asking me how's it going, the freezer was nearly empty. So I was just like, yeah, more help would be amazing. And so she offered to arrange for people to do freezer meals for us, which was kind of nice, because for the members of the ministry, normally you bring this hot meal with all these side dishes and it's ready to go. But to do the freezer meals, they could just double something that they made, and then at any time they could just swing by and deliver a freezer meal. And that was a huge blessing. I still now have a bunch of freezer meals in my freezer because of that ministry, and I really appreciate that. So basically I'm just getting lots of help still. Even though the babies are 4 months old, it's still a lot of work, and I am just so thankful for all the help that we've received over the last 4 months. With homeschooling, my goal was to finish the school year by the time my niece left to go back home. And we basically did. I'm not totally satisfied with what we got done, but we pretty much finished, and I had, in our state that we live in, we have to do a standardized test for our kids over 3rd grade and up. So I only have my oldest son that had to do that test. So we got that test done and he did pretty well on it. And there's other loose ends that we'll just pick back up in the fall. We finished our math book, and that was like my main priorities. Finish math, and everything else, if there's loose ends, we can just pick up where we left off. There's no rule that you have to finish every book within the year, the school year. So it's fine, and we'll work on it. As far as my recovery goes, I feel pretty much totally recovered from the C-section. I felt really good after like 6 weeks. I was feeling pretty good, but just as the months go by, I'm feeling a lot better. The hardest part for me now is probably the lack of sleep and just the having to juggle everything. And also it's really hard with twins when they both cry at the same time, and I feel like I can't meet both their needs at the same time. And sometimes they just cry and it's really hard to soothe them. They're getting better, but it has been very difficult for the last 4 months. And there have been times where I've felt kind of depressed, I guess you could say. I don't think it's postpartum depression. I just think it's overwhelm. And yeah, just feeling a lot of emotions, and the lack of sleep from taking care of 2 babies during the night. I think that doesn't help when it comes to that, and just feeling like I can't do it. But I think through the grace of God that I'm just doing it day by day, and life is happening, and everyone's healthy, and I think everyone's pretty happy. But it's something that when you're dealing with just overwhelm like that, I think it's important to do things for yourself when you can, like even just taking a shower. I've been trying to exercise lately. I was doing that. I did 3 days in a row of exercise, and then 4th of July happened, and now I need to get back to it. But yeah, just taking little moments for yourself throughout the day can really help, I think, with overwhelm. And when my mother-in-law was living here, she's a big coffee drinker, and I am not really a coffee drinker. I never need it to like function like some people do. But when she was here, we had a pot of coffee going, and I would have coffee. I'm a social coffee drinker, so I would have coffee with her. And I realized, like, not necessarily the caffeine, but I just enjoyed having a warm drink in the morning. Or also when my niece was here, we would make a pot of coffee one day, and then I'd put the leftover in the refrigerator, and then the next day we'd have iced coffee, and that was a lot of fun. So just like having special drinks, just the little things, just treasuring the little things to make you feel better in your day. I think that can help with overwhelm. Something else that I've done that I haven't normally done in the past when I've had new babies in the home is I have relied on my big kids a lot, and they have been helping me so much. I try to like not overwhelm them too much, and so I try to really reserve their help for specific times of the day, like around dinner time when I need to be making dinner. Then I will recruit them to hold the babies for me, but usually I have them like watch a show so that it's enjoyable for them too. I also do that if I have a cleaning project to get to, or like lots of laundry that I need to fold. I will have the big kids hold the babies, and they can watch a show while they're holding the babies. That's really helped me to stay on top of things around the house and to have a little bit of me time while they can hold the babies. If I had twins as my first children, I don't know what I would do, because then I wouldn't have my big kids to help me, and I just really treasure my big kids. The last thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the twins. They are doing really well. They are really big for being born a month early. I think last time they were at the doctor, he said that they're on the charts of babies who were born like on time, if that makes sense. So they're in like the 15th percentile for babies born full term at their age. So that's really good that they're gaining a lot of weight and they're really filling out. Michael is actually a pound bigger than Thomas, so we call him Big Mike. And actually, I wanted to tell you some exciting information. So when they were first born, we couldn't really tell them apart, and we weren't quite sure if they were identical or not. And we, as a fail-safe, we kept their ID bracelet from the hospital. We kept that on as long as possible because we just weren't sure who was who. And we weren't sure if that was just because we were in this newborn fog or if they were identical. Because some people told us, oh, I can tell them apart. And then other people were like, yeah, they're identical. So we just didn't know. So we ordered one of those tests online, the DNA test, and it was like a cheek swab test that we sent in the mail, and we got the results back and they are identical. So that's pretty fun to have identical twins. Of course, it'd be fun if they were fraternal too, but just having identical twins, we weren't expecting. I mean, we knew that there was a chance they'd be identical, but we weren't sure. It's just neat to see them together and to see the differences that we do notice. But I think that a lot of times you have to be around them a lot to pick up on the little differences. The biggest difference is their size because Michael's bigger and Thomas is smaller. So when they're together, you can see that difference in size. But when they're apart, even I, like if I'm out of the house and my parents are watching the kids and I come back, sometimes I'm like, who is that baby? So yeah, so since I'm with them all day and I pick their clothes and all of that, that really helps me to know who they are. But yeah, it's just funny. It's funny that we just never believed or imagined that God would have this in his plan for us to have identical twins. That is all that I have for this video. I just wanted to give you a chatty update and tell you how things were going with the twins. And if you have any questions about having twins or like what life has been like, leave them in the comments down below and I will either do a follow-up video or I could just answer your questions down there. I hope you're doing well and I'm looking forward to doing more videos. I have lots that I have planned, so I'm excited about that. And I will talk to you later in my next video. God bless you. Bye. Are you happy? Are you happy?